Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This is the Glow Theory podcast and I'm your host Jay Marie, and in today's video we are going to be learning about how trauma can deeply affect not just your mental but also your physical, your body, the physical state of your being. And then I'll give a few tips to unlearn and bring your body to healing, because trauma is not just in the brain, it's not just spiritual, it lives in the nervous system as well. So it can definitely deeply affect how you function as a person. It can affect your hormones, it can affect your joints, it can affect and contribute to new illnesses that don't make sense but you have. And if you are new, welcome, and if you aren't new, welcome back. Please stay for the video if this is something that you think will be beneficial for you, or if this is something that you think you want to take a look and see if this applies to you. All right, we're just gonna get right into this. And so obviously I have my notes down here, so don't mind me if I'm looking down. So we're gonna start off with the trauma and how it's not just mental, it is also very much somatic. Many people think trauma is just something that's, the mental, like depression or anxiety, but trauma is stored in the body. And trauma gets stored in the body when we don't have the proper tools to properly process or fix those issues, which is why the body, it's kind of like the body is keeping score. It's just kind of rewiring itself every time you go through something pretty traumatic in your life. And if you're not processing it, it gets stored somewhere in the body, wherever it is. And it gets stored and it gets stored and it gets stored and packed all up in there. And it deeply affects the nervous system and rewires your brain, your thinking patterns, and how you operate in this world. It changes you as a whole person. So examples of how it can change you as a person is when you flinch, when someone's talking to you or yelling or something like that. The body rewired itself to understand harm in a different way. Just your body being on constant edge, not sure when pain or trauma or harm is going to come. So it's just constantly on edge, just making sure, or just, the fight or flight kind of mode. You avoid physical touch, or physical affection makes you uncomfortable. And obviously, if you've been through some sort of physical trauma, it is your body's way of just making sure that you're rejecting all people who try and come to you with that closeness, because you're protecting yourself. Your body is protecting itself because it's like, no more of whatever pain or whatever it was that put you in that position to just, like get uncomfortable when people get close to you or want to show you some sort of affection. You stay alert in public places. It's hard for you to just relax and just, let yourself just go with the flow and enjoy the moment. You're always like overthinking, thinking about the time, thinking about everyone's actions and what they're doing, and overanalyzing everything around you, overanalyzing your surroundings, because it was never safe growing up, or whatever it was, or whatever trauma that put you through that, it wasn't safe. And so the body is now in this state of being hyper aware and hyper vigilant, and just making sure that everything is good, it's safe, that you are able to protect yourself by any means necessary. Like your body, it doesn't speak in words, it speaks in symptoms and tension and fatigue and patterns. So I'm gonna get into how trauma can rewire the nervous system. So obviously we have the fight or flight, the freeze, the fawn kind of responses that your body does in order to protect itself. So the fight, obviously the very much visibly angry and aggressive and just quick to anger and just ready to, take it where it gotta go, because you're just like, or if someone like jump scares you and you're ready to throw hands. It's your body's way of needing control of the situation and controlling it with your anger to put a hold to it, to stop it. And then the flight, obviously that's the anxiety, the overthinking, the overworking, the perfectionism. It's your body's way of saying that it just cannot relax. So it needs to do the most and, take off when any needs necessary too as well. And then the freeze, which is the disassociating, the numbness, the procrastination. It's just your body's way of your body has been through so much with whatever given trauma that any new trauma that comes along, it just needs to just shut down. Just freeze, just be numb, because it's so tired. It doesn't want to do anything. It doesn't know how to do anything else. And it's better to not do anything than to create more pain, more stress, more anything. So it's like a physical, mental, everything shut down so that you can't endure anything in or out. It's just shut down. And then the fawning is the people pleasing. I mentioned this in my other video, but the people pleasing and the constant need of, reassurance from other people to make sure that they like you because of like fear of rejection or fear of not being accepted. And just over accommodating for people who don't care about you, but also just in general too, just overcompensating, because you want to make sure that other people around you are comfortable. And when other people are comfortable around you, your environment is controlled, so no harm can be done to you. No one can do anything to hurt you. You will feel accepted. You'll feel, validated, or whatever it is. So all of these survival modes, like, it's just from obviously the trauma, and it traps your body. It traps you in these states of anxiety, of overdoing it, overcompensating, the fight, the flight, the fawning, the irritability, the anger. It's just keeping you trapped because your body needs a sense of control. Your body needs a sense of control of its surroundings. So it's going to put itself just on guard all the time. And I definitely can understand this. I was very much on guard all the time, was never able to relax, was never able to just enjoy my present time, because I was always over analyzing everything, every single detail, everything around me and my surroundings, because I needed to make sure I was safe, or I needed to make sure if I needed to get out of here, I could, like even in restaurants or whatever it was, like just looking at like the nearest exit just in case, or making sure I'm sitting next to the nearest exit. Just little things like that just takes away from living. And it really is exhausting being in that constant survival mode and just not being able to fully process anything. And it's just like I felt like I was living in this body, like that was just existing. Like I didn't feel like I was living, like I was just constantly on edge all the time. And so when you are trying to heal the mental, sometimes the body needs time to catch up. And it's not because you don't want to heal the body, it's just your body might not feel safe enough, or your nervous system might not feel safe enough to fully heal. It takes a lot of time. It really does. It takes a lot of time, but it's truly worth it if you're stuck in that survival mode. Like truly, it's exhausting. It's time to get out of that shell. Many times people will experience physical symptoms of trauma, and when it gets stored in the body, like for example, back pain. I had chronic back pain for the longest time, and not knowing that it was from trauma, and constant tension in my shoulders, just very, like literally bricks on my shoulders. And I didn't realize that it was from trauma, but it was. And I, after healing the nervous system and, regulating my body and everything, the chronic back pain gone, the super tense shoulders gone, besides when I work out. But it's not this weighing down thing on me anymore, and it's not eating away at my body anymore. More symptoms may include shoulders, like I mentioned, jaw, neck, like I said, digestive problems, if you have like IBS or nausea, or just problems with your eating habits too, it can be deeply affected. Hormonal imbalances, especially when you're exposed to prolonged stress or trauma, it fucks you up. It fucks up your hormones, especially as a woman. It messes your hormones up bad if you're not taking care of that nervous system and healing from trauma. It can lead to fatigue, insomnia, or just feeling like you're there but not there at the same time. Like you think you feel okay, but like you're also tired, but like you're not. Like it's the weird feeling. I don't know if y'all can understand, but I felt like that for many, many, many years. Just like, I don't know, like I'm there but not all the way there, but like fine but not fine at the same time. And I just didn't know why I wasn't. And also for women, prolonged stress and trauma, if you're not healing, it can get stored in your womb and in your hips, just brings a lot of tension and pain and spiritual sense. There's a lot more that goes into that, especially being the womb tension and such. But yeah, it affect, like, trauma truly affects literally everything. So please, literally take the time you need to heal yourself from trauma, physically, mentally. Yes, mentally, but also physically. The nervous system needs to calm down. It needs to re-stabilize itself, because if you're putting too much pressure, like when you're storing so much of that junky trauma and that pain and that suffering, and you're not doing anything to process it, it will show up physically. It'll manifest in your physical reality. And we don't want that. We do not want that anymore. I believe also trauma can show on your face too, on your body, like your skin. You know, people who are just down bad and they're just, you know, they're not truly happy. You can tell by the look on their, just the glow. You can tell by the look in their eyes. You can tell, you know, sometimes, like, you can just tell it's a certain look. Trauma can also obviously question your worth and your sense of being and your identity and who you are as a person, especially when your brain is constantly rewiring itself, trying to manage this trauma that you're not processing. You will change as a person. You will not know who you are. You will go through these waves of just questioning who you are. And besides the depression, the anxiety, the fear, all of these things, aside from that, you're like, who am I? Like, what am I even doing here? You know, and it's just the feeling of just feeling disconnected from yourself and from others and from the world around you, and just not fully grasping onto anything. It just sometimes will not feel real. Like it'll just feel like, I don't know, you're just existing, and you'll just feel lost. You know, and I definitely can understand that. I was definitely lost for a very long time, just not sure about who I was, and just dealing with crazy battles internally. And it was such a long season of that. But I'm finally kind of out of the woods from the work I put in, by the grace of God. I didn't think I'd even get to this point, but it has been wonderful. Just kind of, because I was longing getting back to who I was, like even as a kid, pre-exposed to the trauma, you know, just very free, very happy. My life was wonderful. I had both of my parents in my life before the trauma started. And oh my God, I'm so happy that I can remember those little snippets of life, because it helps me, I don't know, it kind of like grounds me in a way, and it makes me long for more happiness. And there's like a sense of hope, I guess. And I guess, what was I, 4 or 5 years old before all the shit went to shit? Yeah, I was happy every day. It was just always such a great day. Of course it was. I was a fucking child. But, you know, before what I was exposed to, and just being able to exist and be happy and at peace, and, you know, I having a good relationship with my family and my friends, the people around me, and just having, like, you know, everything felt safe, you know? So longing for that pushed me to heal, like, properly, and actually take the time to figure out all of the things I needed to figure out, which was a very lengthy, long list. But it's okay. Out of the woods now. So I'm just saying, like, you can do it too. Anyone can do it. It's literally about you and your choice and your willpower to do it, and how much you truly care about yourself, how much you love yourself. So unlearning what that pain has taught you, I'm just gonna name out a few steps and things that may help. And obviously healing is very much different for everybody. Not everything works on everybody, so just pick and choose what works for you. It's all different, but hey, whatever, choose what you got to choose. So I guess, like, steps to healing obviously is to process what you got to feel. So the first things that I did was I journal a lot. Journaling is not for everyone, but I like to write. I've always been a person who likes to just write things, and, you know, so I was always writing everything that was going on, that I was feeling that day or that week or that month or whatever it was, and just kind of letting myself write down and see those words of what I was feeling on the inside. And then later, a few weeks later, it went into processing that pain and those emotions, where I then was like, yeah, I definitely need a therapist, because this is a lot. And I'm a pretty curious person by nature, so I'm always researching things. I'm always trying to figure out, I don't know, little things about little things. So obviously this trauma thing for me was like, ooh, pick of the candy, I get to research. And when I was processing certain emotions and feelings, I was kind of narrowing it down to what memory and who did this and who was around and where was I and how old I was, and just kind of reliving those experiences and letting myself then process the pain that whoever put me through. And having a therapist, I guess, was kind of helpful. I feel like therapists, they can be helpful depending on how self-aware you are. When you are too self-aware, it kind of just is like, I don't really need your help, because you're able to figure out your own shit. But it's good to have someone there to help you process these things. Even though you may know, it's okay. It's okay to have people around you to still help you, because it's a lot. So doing that with the therapist was great. I did it for many months, and I processed literally every single thing I needed to process. Everything, every trauma or super traumatic event that I've been through, I processed it, truly. And it didn't take days. Like it took weeks for each thing that I had to process, or each terrible memory that I was left with that I had to process. And then we moved on to forgiving and letting go and sealing those chapters closed with forgiveness and walking away with strength, and not something that took away from me. There was a lot of breath work, a lot of grounding, a lot of meditation that I chose to do on my own time, because I needed something. I needed some sort of higher power or something to pray to or to ground myself to, because I was literally going insane. No joke, I'm not even joking. Went on a lot of walks outside, listening to just meditational music or just any type of healing frequency to kind of help balance myself out. Y'all, we're all energy, and it's actual, you can search it up too if you need proof, but we operate on energies and frequencies. So when you attune to certain frequencies, your body and your energy absorbs that. It takes on to that. Just like with music has different frequencies, and so your body will then adjust to whatever that frequency is. And then I was doing like little small things to help my body build trust with myself again. I tried, working out or doing some yoga, just making myself feel safe again within my own body and calming that nervous system down, because when my nervous system was insanely fucked, I was very like, go. Like I was on 10, like I was just insane. Like, no, it's not funny, but it's funny because like looking back at that now, it's just like, oh my God, like I don't know how people had conversations with me. But I was very like it was just like a lot. And then finally calming my nervous system down, like I move a lot slower. I am not rushing anything, besides when I have to, like, I don't know, for work, but not even, like I really take my time. I'm very intentional with my time and what I do with my time, and making sure I'm very, just very calm with every activity that I do. I walk slower, I do things slower. Whereas before, I was just rushing to make things and do things and like getting real crazy. And now it's just very slow, very methodical, very intentional, and it's just chef's kiss. And I know that's like obviously normal for some people, but for people who have gone through a lot of trauma in their life and their body is stuck in that fight or flight, yeah, they're gonna be like in a constant rush and like their brain is just on 10. And then another thing I did was was speaking to myself more gently and kind of like re-parenting myself again with more kindness and more love and more understanding, and not from, what I experienced, obviously. and just being really intentional with what I was saying to myself and my thought process as well, just making sure that it was not negative or anything negative, just came from a place of love and of, you know what, you're trying, you're human, and that's okay if I fuck something up. Just kind of unlearning those nasty patterns that were taught to me. And also surround yourself with people that make you feel safe too. Because when you are healing, when you are growing, you don't want to be surrounded by that same kind of negative energy that put you into that healing in the first place. So make sure the people around you are safe people. They make you feel loved and supported through this whole entire process, because it's a lot. People need people. So make sure you surround yourself with good energy and good people and good vibes and good intentions. And just be patient with yourself through this whole entire thing. And to wrap it up, I just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this video and seeing if anything was beneficial for you or anything that you can take from this, and just, yeah, relate to someone else on the internet. Just be patient with yourself. Healing is a whole entire process, and yes, that's the best advice I could give. Be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself too, because this is your first time living, so be patient. And unfortunately, you were given certain things that you didn't want in this life, but now you have to deal with. Be patient. Just be patient with yourself. And obviously the anger, the hurt feelings will come, but just be kind to yourself and let yourself go through the waves of what you got to go through, because you can turn out wonderful. There's always the bigger picture. It's just about whatever choices you decide to make to get you there. So I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I really do hope this was helpful. If you are new, subscribe. You know, if you want to check out more videos on healing and, you know, figuring ourselves out, because we're trying to heal ourselves. We're not trying to be like other generations where they just don't process any of their traumas and then go around fucking up the world. So let's be better. How about that? For ourselves and for the rest of the people around us. And obviously, if you like the video, drop a like, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.